Noah found the faint, flickering lights of the movie theater lobby uninspiring. At least, he assumed that was the case, as Liam's attention had already drifted away from the film posters and landed on a row of claw machines against the far wall. The machines were newly installed, their glass cases gleaming under the recessed lighting, filled to the brim with a fresh assortment of plush toys. It was early on a weekday afternoon, so the mall was quiet. The only other people near the arcade were a few parents with toddlers too young to walk steadily, their small hands smacking against the glass. Noah followed as Liam came to a stop in front of one particular machine, his focus intense. Inside, a collection of tiny, pink piglets were arranged neatly. They were exceptionally soft-looking, with short limbs and round, black eyes. They reminded Noah of a similar toy Liam had once cherished but had since lost. Liam raised a hand, his index finger tapping the glass directly in front of one of the piglets. He then looked at Noah, his expression clearly indicating his desire for the toy. Reaching into his pocket, Noah's hand emerged with a surprising number of game tokens. He had exchanged them for cash moments before, a move Liam had apparently missed entirely. Noah offered him the choice: try for it himself or let Noah win it for him. A small smile touched Liam's lips as he took a few of the cool, metal discs from Noah's palm, expressing a desire to try first. His inexperience was immediately obvious. He had no technique, no strategy. The claw would either miss the piglet entirely or grasp it for a moment before dropping it as it ascended. Token after token was fed into the slot, each attempt ending in failure. Liam curled his fingers into a fist, silently stepping back from the machine. He said nothing, but the hopeful look he gave Noah communicated everything. Noah weighed the remaining tokens in his hand and took his place. He assured Liam he would have the toy in a moment. His movements were far more practiced, a skill honed from years of placating his younger sister, Aubrey. He had a strategy for dealing with the notoriously loose claws. After selecting a target, his first two attempts were not to win, but to nudge the piglet closer to the prize chute, using the machine's programmed shake to his advantage. On the third try, a gentle nudge was all it took for the piglet to tumble neatly into the collection bin. The piglet's eyes were made of smooth, black glass that shone under the arcade lights. But as Liam took the small toy from Noah, his own eyes were brighter. He offered Noah genuine praise, calling his technique impressive. Noah, who had never thought winning a stuffed animal could be described with such a word, found it both amusing and endearing. He explained that it was hardly a remarkable skill, just a necessary one developed to pacify his sister's tantrums during her childhood. He then held out the remaining tokens, asking if Liam wanted to learn. Liam shook his head without a moment's hesitation. He explained that it seemed like too much trouble. His interest wasn't in the process of winning, but simply in having the prize. He reasoned that with Noah around, he wouldn't need to learn himself. He could just ask Noah to win anything he wanted in the future. As the words settled between them, a warmth bloomed in Noah's chest, an unexpected joy that nearly overflowed. He agreed with Liam's logic completely. He playfully squeezed the ear of the piglet in Liam's arms and promised to win him anything he ever wanted, enough to fill an entire room if he so desired. Liam's ambitions were more modest for the time being. He only wanted two. With one already in his possession, he pointed to a much larger pig wearing a baseball cap in the adjacent machine. This prize was suspended by a string, the game requiring the player to maneuver a pair of scissors to cut it. Each attempt cost 10 tokens. Noah spent 20 tokens just to understand the rhythm of the scissors, their movement and timing. On his third attempt, he cut the string cleanly. When he retrieved the prize, he realized it was even larger and softer than it had appeared through the glass. The cap was removable, and its coiled tail was springy. He was childishly bouncing the tail when a polite female voice spoke from beside him. He turned to see a young mother holding a little girl, no older than 3. It was the same woman who had been in the arcade when they arrived. She had been watching his success with the machines and couldn't resist approaching him after he won the large pig. She explained that her daughter desperately wanted that specific toy, but her own attempts had all failed. She knew it was a bold request but offered to buy it from him at any price. As the woman spoke, Liam stood beside Noah, his gaze on the little girl in her arms. She was an undeniably cute child, with large, expressive eyes. A soft, whimsical toy like the pig seemed a perfect match for such a child. Liam thought that if Noah agreed, it would be fine. He already had the smaller one. But Noah's refusal was both gentle and immediate, cutting off Liam's train of thought. He apologized, explaining that his own kid was quite fond of this particular pig. The labor itself might be shared, but the fruits of that labor were not. The pig was spoken for. However, Noah, seeing the little girl's crestfallen face, offered to win her something else. A few minutes later, he had successfully captured a small, green dinosaur, which the little girl accepted with delight. On the way from the mall to the parking garage, Noah carried the large pig under one arm, attracting more than a few amused glances. He found his car and was about to place the pig in the back seat when Liam tugged on his sleeve. He had been quiet the entire walk. Now, his eyes were bright with a happiness that was infectious. Leaning against the car door, Noah smiled and asked what was on his mind. Liam didn't let go of his sleeve. He asked if Noah's earlier comment about his kid had been about him. Noah feigned confusion, wondering aloud if there had been another child with them who had expressed a great love for the pig. He knew he was teasing, and the beautiful curve of Liam's smiling lips told him Liam knew it too. Liam confessed that he didn't like children. Noah wasn't sure what to make of the statement, given the contradiction in his expression. But then Liam continued, his voice soft and earnest. He explained that what he did like very much was the feeling of being so unapologetically favored by Noah. He wanted to be the exception. He wanted Noah to always think of him as his kid. Noah's gaze fell to Liam's fingers, which were now toying with the plush pig. A strange, sweet current ran through him. It suddenly occurred to him that Liam was like a child who had never tasted candy and had therefore decided it must taste bad. After being given a piece, his conclusion wasn't that candy was good, but that only the candy Noah gave him was sweet. He wasn't sure what to do with that realization. Part of him wanted to correct Liam, to tell him that all candy was sweet. But another part of him, a much stronger part, was hesitant. He couldn't guarantee that others would give Liam candy as freely and unconditionally as he would. So he decided to let the exception stand. He could be the one to always give Liam candy, as much as he wanted, for as long as he wanted. He smiled, agreeing. He took the large baseball cap from the pig's head and playfully placed it on Liam's. The hat was far too big, the brim covering his eyes. But Noah thought he looked impossibly cute. He adjusted the brim and was about to say something when the young girl from the arcade called out from behind them. She was in her mother's arms, clutching the green dinosaur, and was calling him brother. Noah chuckled and told her uncle would be fine. The little girl corrected herself, her pronunciation still clumsy. Noah waved the pig's hoof at her in response. As the girl turned back to her mother, he caught the woman's gaze. It was a look of subtle, knowing amusement. She commented on how well-behaved his little one was, glancing from Noah to Liam. The implication behind his earlier words in the arcade had finally clicked for her. Noah felt a faint blush rise in his cheeks. He cleared his throat and glanced at the little one by his side. "He's all right," Noah managed, forcing down a smile. Two voices spoke at once, almost overlapping. "We're just friends." "He means we're not." The young mother looked momentarily stunned. Noah was even more so, a hint of disbelief in his eyes. Liam, turning to Noah for confirmation, explained again that they weren't what she was thinking. They were just good friends who looked out for each other. "Wasn't that right?" Noah's smile vanished. He gave a stiff, dry nod and, under the woman's complicated gaze, shoved the large pig into the back seat of the car. The words were his own, the definition he himself had established. He couldn't understand why hearing them now felt so sharp. On the drive back, Noah received a text from his mother. A watch she had bought for him on her last trip abroad had arrived. After parking in the building's underground garage, he went to the mailroom to retrieve the package. When he turned around, Liam was standing there, having forgotten the smaller pig in the car. Noah took the large pig from him and asked why he hadn't brought the other one up. Liam simply said he forgot and would get it next time. Back in the apartment, Noah tossed the pig onto the sofa and grabbed a utility knife to open the package. The box was elaborate, its complexity annoying to someone like Noah who preferred simplicity. But the watch inside was flawless. It was a masterpiece from a world-renowned designer, its face a perfect size, exuding an air of understated luxury. Every detail was exquisite. He noticed Liam staring at it with interest. He held the watch out, asking if he liked it. Liam nodded. Noah then took Liam's left wrist. The cool metal of the watch contrasted with the warmth of Liam's skin as he fastened the clasp. Liam raised his arm, admiring it, and asked if it was for him. The expensive timepiece looked stunning against his slender wrist. Noah, extremely pleased with the sight, confirmed that it was a gift for him to wear. Noah went to the balcony to call his mother, and when he returned, the television was on. Liam was on the sofa, nestled between the large pig and Noah's golden retriever, Comet, who was watching him with adoration. Every so often, Liam would lift his hand to look at the watch, a childish gesture that revealed how much he liked it. Noah smiled and texted his mother, telling her the gift was perfect. He took a few minutes to answer some work emails before heading to the kitchen to start dinner. He preferred not to have live-in help, so a cleaning service came during the day to tidy up and restock the refrigerator. Liam was in a good mood, thanks to both the pig and the watch. When dinner was served, Liam had stopped looking at his new watch and was instead intently studying the pig, trying to figure out how to reattach its cap. Noah was tempted to ask Liam about his fondness for pigs, but he remembered a previous time he'd asked and decided he was better off not knowing the answer. After dinner, Liam volunteered to walk Comet. Noah trusted the security in their building, so he clipped the leash onto the dog's collar and handed it to him before heading for a shower. Over the past few weeks, Liam and Comet had become good friends. Liam was even starting to find the walks enjoyable, except for the early morning ones. Comet had a favorite stray cat he liked to visit, and he would wait patiently by a flower bed for it to appear. Tonight was no different. Liam waited with him, glancing at the watch on his wrist every minute or so. He wasn't checking the time so much as just enjoying the sight of time passing on the gift Noah had given him. When he returned, he unclipped the leash from Comet's collar. Just as he opened his bedroom door, he heard the shower turn off in the master bathroom. He called out Noah's name. A muffled response came from within. Liam asked if he had forgotten something. The bathroom went quiet. Noah, annoyed with himself, looked down at the pair of boxers he had carelessly dropped on the wet floor. His plan to grab a fresh pair from his dresser was now complicated by Liam's sudden return. He called out, telling Liam to grab a pair for him from the bottom left drawer of his dresser. A moment later, there was a knock on the bathroom door. Noah opened it just enough to stick his hand out. He received the fresh pair of underwear, but Liam's hand didn't let go of the doorknob. Puzzled, Noah peeked his head out. Liam was standing there, his gaze traveling from Noah's face, down his neck, to his well-defined shoulder, the rest of his body obscured by the door. A flicker of disappointment crossed his face. He asked again if they really couldn't shower together. Noah, feeling a wave of unease, quickly took the underwear, gently pushed Liam's hand away, and shut the door. "Be good," he said through the door. "Next time, I promise." He thought that would be the end of it, but a moment later, the door was knocked on again. As Noah pulled on his pajama pants, he asked with a sigh what it was this time. Liam's calm voice came through the wood. He asked if Noah could come out without a shirt on. Noah's movements paused. Liam's reason was that it had been so long, he had forgotten what Noah's abs looked like. He said, with complete seriousness, that he wanted to touch them. Of course, Noah had no intention of walking out half-naked. But from the moment he emerged from the bathroom, fully clothed, he felt a resentful gaze fixed upon him. Liam sat on the edge of the bed, his eyes following Noah as he got the hairdryer, as he plugged in his phone, as he retrieved his charger. His lips were set in a straight, unhappy line. Noah tried to placate him, telling him to stop fooling around and get ready for bed. Liam's question was direct. Why wouldn't Noah let him touch? This kind of bluntness from Liam was something Noah still found difficult to handle. He fabricated an excuse, saying he wasn't feeling well today. Liam didn't understand. He asked if touching Noah's stomach required an auspicious date. Noah, flustered, said no, but that he felt a cold coming on and needed to stay warm. Liam's solution was simple. They could lie under the covers while he touched him, so Noah wouldn't get cold. Noah refused again. Liam pressed, asking why not. The excuse Noah came up with was absurd. The feng shui was bad. He saw Liam's brow furrow as a realization dawned on him. He accused Noah of just making excuses because he didn't want to be touched. Noah, rubbing the back of his neck, tried to argue, but Liam didn't give him the chance. He stated that they were married, and as a husband, Noah had an obligation to satisfy his partner's needs. He threatened, with a completely straight face, to file a motion in court to have his marital rights enforced. The idea was so ridiculous that Noah was momentarily speechless. Thankfully, Liam's threat seemed to be just a way to vent his frustration. He fell silent, then stood up without another word and went to get his pajamas. Noah let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding, then immediately started worrying about how to soothe Liam's mood. It was too late for a snack, and buying another watch was out of the question. He briefly considered just giving in but dismissed the idea as too much. He sat down where Liam had been sitting and plugged in his phone. As the screen lit up, he was suddenly caught off guard. Liam, whose plan had apparently been to go to the bathroom, had abruptly changed course. He strode back and sat down squarely on Noah's lap, facing him, his gaze direct and intense. He presented Noah with a new, even more startling question. Was Noah cheating on him? The accusation, coming out of nowhere, left Noah stunned. He stared wide-eyed, asking where on earth Liam had gotten such an idea. Liam laid out his evidence with cold logic. Noah wouldn't shower with him, and he wouldn't let Liam touch him. He had read that a man's sudden refusal of physical intimacy with his wife could mean one of two things. He was having an affair, or he was having an affair and had marks on his body he didn't want her to see. As Noah stared back, still processing this information, Liam's eyes grew red. He asked if he had guessed correctly, if Noah had truly been unfaithful. Taking a deep breath, Noah grabbed the hem of his shirt and pulled it off in one swift motion. "Here," he said, his voice tight. "Look, see if you can find any marks." He then took Liam's hand and pressed it firmly against his own stomach. "Touch. Touch all you want." The moment Liam's palm made contact, the watery, broken look in his eyes vanished, replaced by a focused intensity. The redness remained, but his expression was now one of serious study. Noah had the distinct feeling he'd been tricked. Liam's examination was thorough. His gaze, like a measuring instrument, traveled from Noah's lean waist slowly upwards. His hands were not idle either. His entire palm and fingers were flat against Noah's skin, stroking slowly over the defined muscles, assessing their texture. The touch was light, almost reverent, devoid of lust and full of simple appreciation. But for Noah, it was like a feather tracing over a sunburn. A shiver ran through him, and the spot where their skin met felt searingly hot. His Adam's apple bobbed uncontrollably, and his throat went dry. But Liam was lost in his own world, completely oblivious to Noah's reaction. He seemed to be studying something fascinating, something he couldn't get enough of. He murmured about how beautiful it was, how warm. He seemed surprised that even such well-defined muscles could feel soft. He gave a gentle squeeze at the most appealing curve, seemingly unaware of the subtle flinch it caused in Noah. His hand and his gaze moved in unison, upwards. He commented on a slight pinkish hue that was developing on Noah's skin. His bright pupils reflected the sight that held him captive. His fingers moved with purpose, coming within inches of a new target when a hand suddenly clamped down on his wrist. In a dizzying blur, their positions were reversed. Liam found himself on his back in the bed, the larger body of the man he'd been sitting on now pinning him down, trapping him completely. He frowned, asking if Noah was going back on his word already. He hadn't finished touching. Finished? Noah's voice was a low growl, his breathing heavy and uneven. "Any more and you'll be the death of me." Liam didn't understand. He insisted he wasn't playing. He was simply exercising his normal marital rights. He couldn't comprehend why Noah would see it as a game. Noah realized there was no point in trying to explain. He tightened his hold, his voice a mix of frustration and resignation. "You really take advantage of everything, don't you? Just because you know you don't have to take responsibility." The phrase "don't have to take responsibility" made Liam pause. He processed the words, concluding that Noah was referring to his delicate health, his inability to follow through. If that was the case, he disagreed. He reached up and gently turned Noah's head to face him, his gaze sincere. He explained that he did want to take responsibility. He reminded Noah of his previous offer to use his hands if Noah was ever uncomfortable. He insisted it wasn't a hardship for him. As Noah tried to look away, Liam cupped his face, forcing him to maintain eye contact. He told Noah that there were many things only the two of them could do together, and that he shouldn't be shy. As the only person in the world with the right to be intimate with him, Liam declared that he should feel free to take even more advantage. A strange, out-of-place question came from Noah. He asked if Liam would offer to take responsibility for anyone, if he would want to take advantage of anyone he had mistaken for his partner during his memory loss. Liam's brow furrowed. He couldn't understand why Noah would ask something so foolish. Of course, it was only him. Why would he ever want to be responsible for some random, unimportant person? He loved only Noah, wanted to take advantage of only Noah, and wanted to be responsible only for Noah. Noah heard his own heartbeat, loud and fast. He knew Liam wasn't in his right mind, that his words couldn't be taken as truth, but his heart hammered against his ribs anyway. He stared at Liam for a long moment without answering. Liam, after some thought, asked if he was making Noah feel insecure. He seemed to decide he was right, because he leaned in and gave Noah a reassuring kiss on his jaw. The next second, the weight on him was gone. The man he had just labeled insecure sprang off the bed and fled the room with an astonishing speed. Liam, a half-beat behind, turned his head just in time to see Noah's retreating back as he headed for the living room, the back of his neck a deep shade of red. In the living room, Comet sat alone, contemplating the city lights. He tilted his head as he heard his owner burst out of the bedroom and head straight for the kitchen, where he downed a large glass of cold water. Noah set the empty glass down, his breathing still unsteady, and poured another. He couldn't understand why he was so easily flustered lately. That night, Noah's sleep was troubled. He dreamed of Liam's hands on him, his voice murmuring about taking advantage, a mix of torment and a pleasure he couldn't escape. He woke up unusually early, his head aching, and found himself staring directly into a pair of clear, calm eyes. So Liam had been lying about not being a morning person. For a long moment, neither of them moved, an awkward silence hanging between them. Then, the sound of Comet scratching at the bedroom door broke the spell. Noah sighed and got out of bed, saying he would go feed the dog and that Liam could sleep in. He grabbed a suit from the closet. As he was turning, he remembered something and was about to speak, but he saw that Liam had pulled the covers over his head, with only a small tuft of hair visible. A question mark formed in Noah's mind. A moment later, the covers were pulled back down, revealing Liam's usual cool, composed face. Noah dismissed the fleeting thought that Liam had been embarrassed. He finished what he was about to say, reminding Liam that he had brought some of his own clothes over, including suits he could wear to the office. Liam gave a quiet sound of acknowledgement. Noah nodded and turned back to change. He pulled his shirt off over his head, and halfway through the motion, he froze. He had forgotten Liam was still there, watching. It was too late to stop, so he forced himself to finish, trying to rationalize that the real Liam wouldn't remember anything and wouldn't be interested in his body. Still, he felt a profound sense of self-consciousness until he heard footsteps and the sound of the bathroom door sliding open and then shut. He let out a long breath of relief. As he buttoned his shirt, he glanced at the messy bedsheets and felt an irrepressible smile creep onto his face. The way Liam pulled the covers over his head had been ridiculously cute. Inside the bathroom, the cool air did little to calm the heat rising in Liam's face. The mirror reflected his trembling eyelashes and the bright red tips of his ears. He closed his eyes, mortified, and raised a hand to cover his face. But then he remembered what that hand had been doing the night before. The hand itself seemed to flush with heat, and he shoved it under the faucet. The motion-activated sensor turned on, and cold water rushed over his skin, providing a much-needed physical cooling. When Noah came back from walking Comet and had breakfast ready, Liam felt entirely out of sorts. It wasn't just the memory of his own bold actions from the previous night, actions that Noah presumably thought he had forgotten. It was the surreal experience of sitting calmly at a table with a man he had once disdained, eating a breakfast that man had personally cooked for him. He didn't know how to act, what to say. His internal turmoil manifested as an even colder, more aloof exterior than usual. This demeanor, which might normally be intimidating, was interpreted by Noah as simply a bad mood. In his eyes, Liam was like a disgruntled cat who would still obediently drink the warm milk set before him. And since he couldn't physically pet and soothe him, he opted for the next best thing: feeding him. He placed a piece of toast, perfectly crispy around the edges and spread with a thin, vibrant layer of strawberry jam, onto Liam's plate. He did it so casually, as if it were the most natural thing in the world, that Liam felt his own surprise was an overreaction. After a moment of internal debate, he picked up the toast and took a bite. The taste was better than he expected, and he found himself accepting the gesture without any further struggle. He didn't notice the small, triumphant smile on Noah's face as he ate. It was only at the end of the meal that Liam realized what was truly wrong. The watch Noah had given him was still on his wrist. It was fine for the confused version of himself to wear it, but for him, the clear-headed Liam, to wear it without comment was a potential giveaway. He mentally scrambled, trying to recall if Noah had noticed anything unusual since he woke up. Regardless, he had to do something now. As he set down his glass, he feigned surprise at the sight of the watch, his brow furrowing as he tried to look perplexed. Noah's response, however, turned his feigned surprise into a genuine one. Noah told him he had won it by smashing a golden egg. When Liam questioned this, Noah elaborated without missing a beat. He explained that they had passed a real estate sales office on their way home the previous day. Seeing the neat rows of golden eggs, he had taken Liam inside to try his luck, and he had won the grand prize on the first try. He even gave Liam an admiring look, commenting on his incredible luck. Liam, his mind reeling, asked if Noah had bought a property. Noah brushed it off, saying he just gave a staff member $20 to let him smash an egg, probably because they liked his face. He finished by telling Liam the watch looked good on him and that he should keep wearing it, as the memory loss version of himself was quite fond of it and would be upset if it went missing. Liam fell silent. He finished his meal and, without removing the watch, announced he was ready. Noah asked if he was going straight to the office or needed to go home first. This time, Liam didn't refuse the ride. After a brief hesitation at the car, reluctant to sit in the back like a passenger being chauffeured, he opened the front passenger door. There, sitting in the seat, was the small piglet plush toy. He had forgotten about it. As Noah got into the driver's seat, he asked if Liam had forgotten something. Liam simply said no, got in, and moved the pig to the side without a second glance, adopting an air of complete unfamiliarity. Noah found this secretly hilarious. Just yesterday, Liam had been clutching the toy, and now he wouldn't even look at it. He soon realized, however, that Liam's indifference was a facade. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Liam taking quick, subtle glances at the pig. If it weren't for the angle of the rearview mirror, he would have missed it completely. As he pulled up to Liam's office building, he pretended not to have noticed. Just as Liam was about to get out, Noah stopped him. He casually mentioned that the pig was Liam's too, and asked if he was considering taking it with him. Liam froze for a second, then looked at him with a puzzled expression. Noah leaned into the charade, claiming that Liam had fallen in love with it at the arcade, and that it had taken him all afternoon to win just that one. He shrugged, expertly downplaying his skill. He asked Liam to at least appreciate his hard work and take the pig with him. Liam knew he was being teased. His hand tightened on the door handle. He wanted to tell Noah to stop, but that would risk exposing himself. He stared at the pig, trapped, before realizing he could just ignore the entire exchange. He turned and got out of the car without a word. But his silent hesitation had not gone unnoticed by Noah, who was thoroughly enjoying how easy it was to fluster the clear-headed version of Liam. Just as he was marveling at this, the car door opened again. Liam leaned in, grabbed the pig by its ear, and pulled it from the car. He shut the door and walked towards his office, his expression unreadable. It was just a stuffed pig, he thought to himself. His office had plenty of room. He knocked on his office door. Upon hearing a voice from within, he took a deep breath and entered. An employee, a young man named Gus, placed a file on his desk. explaining it was the final version of the next quarter's project proposal. Liam acknowledged him and, after sending an email, noticed Gus was still standing there. He asked if there was anything else. Gus, who had been tasked by his colleagues in a group chat to get some gossip, lost his courage the moment he met Liam's cold gaze. He stammered that there was nothing else and quickly left the office. After reviewing the proposal, Liam saw it was the end of the workday. He closed the file and instinctively reached for his phone to call Noah, but stopped himself just in time. He was getting the two versions of himself confused again. He packed his things and drove home. After a shower, he made a simple dinner for himself using ingredients from the refrigerator. But the familiar taste of the microwave meal was now difficult to swallow. He looked at the empty seat across from him. There was no one to talk to. A feeling of profound loneliness washed over him. He put down his fork, his appetite gone. He had always tried to keep the two parts of himself separate, the confused and the clear-headed, but Noah's presence had blurred the lines. In just half a month, he had grown accustomed to waking up to Noah, to having hot breakfasts made for him, to being taken care of, to being comforted. He hated this feeling of dependence, this loss of control. He had no experience navigating such close relationships, and his only coping mechanism was to throw himself into his work. So, as he had done many times before, he retreated to his study and worked until exhaustion finally claimed him. He hadn't realized that this method, while effective in the short term, came with a heavy price. The physical toll of his self-imposed stress finally caught up with him, and he fell ill. A high fever woke him from a nightmare. He reached for the familiar warmth beside him but found only empty space. He sat up, the city lights outside his window blurred by feverish tears. The cold that seeped from his bones made him shiver uncontrollably, even wrapped tightly in his blanket. After waiting for a long time and realizing no one was coming, he lost patience and fumbled for his phone under his pillow. It was 2 a.m. when Noah's phone vibrated him awake. He answered without checking the caller ID, his voice thick with sleep. The faint, hoarse sound of Liam's voice on the other end cleared his head instantly. He sat bolt upright. Liam's voice was weak. He asked if Noah had gone out for a late-night snack, wondering why he was taking so long to come back. He said he had a fever and felt terrible. His throat hurt. He told Noah not to buy anything too spicy. Without changing out of his pajamas, Noah threw on a jacket and rushed out the door. He stopped at a 24-hour supermarket to buy 2 types of kanji and some medicine before speeding to Liam's apartment. He let himself in with the spare key. The apartment was dark and silent. He found Liam's bedroom door slightly ajar. Fearing the worst, he hurried inside and flicked on the light. The room was empty except for a lump under the covers. Noah pulled back the blanket to find Liam, his skin burning to the touch. Liam, delirious, could barely open his eyes against the bright light, but he recognized the figure standing over him. His voice was a raw whisper as he said Noah's name. Noah's heart ached. He decided they needed to go to the hospital immediately, but Liam resisted, weakly pulling away. He didn't want to go. Noah insisted, but Liam just shook his head, curling further into himself. Noah's voice became sterner. Liam, behave. At almost the same time, they both spoke. I'm so cold. Liam, listen to me. Liam's voice was so faint that Noah almost missed it. He softened his tone, asking if he was very cold. Liam confirmed that he was freezing. He reached out and grabbed the fabric of Noah's jacket, his half-open eyes misty and unfocused. He asked Noah to hold him, to warm him up. The expected embrace didn't come immediately. Liam's fingers loosened, a sigh of disappointment escaping his lips. But then the mattress dipped beside him, and a corner of the blanket was lifted. A warm body pressed against his, and strong arms wrapped around his waist, pulling him into a solid, comforting embrace. The familiar, clean scent of Noah was all he needed to feel safe. A gruff voice rumbled against his ear. "You know I'm a sucker for this, don't you? This is the last time. I have a reputation to maintain." Liam mumbled into his chest, "What reputation do you need to maintain with your kid?" The resulting silence made Liam smile faintly. He knew he had one. There would be no last time. They went to the hospital. The doctor confirmed a high fever of 102 degrees and attributed it to overwork and the changing seasons. As Liam received an 4 drip, he was surprisingly compliant. He just stared at Noah with an unwavering gaze, occasionally reaching out to hook a finger around Noah's sleeve. The sight melted Noah's heart. He held Liam's hand and told him stories about his sister Aubrey's childhood antics to pass the time. Once the fever had subsided slightly, they returned home. The illness had made Liam not just docile but incredibly clingy. He was like a small, lost animal who only felt safe in Noah's presence. He followed him everywhere. When Noah tried to go to the kitchen to heat up the congee, Liam immediately sat up in bed, ready to follow. As a quick solution, Noah downloaded a children's timer app on his phone. He pointed to the colorful bubbles on the screen and told Liam he would be back before the 300th bubble dropped. It was a 5-minute timer, more than enough time. He returned to the bedroom just as Liam's impatient counting became audible. He had made it back just as the timer was about to run out, only to be met with a sleepy complaint. "You're so slow." Noah accepted the criticism without argument. "I know I'm slower than a turtle." He sat on the bed and carefully fed Liam the warm congee, blowing on each spoonful. When Liam said he was full, Noah finished the rest himself. He set the bowl aside and turned back to find Liam staring at him. He asked if he was tired. Liam shook his head and then lunged forward, wrapping his arms around Noah in a tight embrace. Noah, caught off guard, returned the hug. He felt Liam nuzzling his neck, his nose tracing the shell of his ear. The familiar, sweet sensation was almost too much for Noah to handle. He couldn't bring himself to push Liam away. Then he heard a soft murmur against his ear. "So this is what it feels like to be taken care of when you're sick." Noah paused. Liam continued, his voice muffled. He said he now understood why his younger brother, Peyton, was always complaining about being sick or hurt. Even a small bump on the corner of a table would become a major incident. Their father would always believe him, would stop working to comfort him for hours. But when Liam was sick, his father was always too busy. He would tell him Peyton wasn't feeling well either, and that he should go to the hospital by himself. Liam would lie in his room, too weak to move, and count the seconds until morning. Every time it was the same. He was left alone, his well-being an afterthought. His father only cared if Peyton was happy, if Liam's absence would improve Peyton's mental state. He wondered why. Weren't they the same? In a family, didn't parents love the younger child more, or the one who represented a more perfect union? He was neither, so he was not loved. Noah had often thought that this version of Liam lived in an imaginary world, separate from reality. He didn't know if this brother, Peyton, was real, or if those lonely, sick nights had actually happened. But it didn't matter. This Liam was so pure and honest, he wouldn't lie. He was just telling his story as he knew it. And even if it was a fabrication, it didn't stop Noah's heart from aching for him. He gently rubbed Liam's back and told him, with complete seriousness, not to question himself because of how others saw him. He told him that anyone who didn't love him simply didn't have good taste, and their opinions were worthless. Liam was quiet for a few moments, then lifted his head. But have I done well enough? Of course, Noah said without hesitation. You've done the best. Only exceptional people constantly feel they aren't good enough. Liam bit his lip. But I'm not a good brother. I don't like Peyton. Noah countered, asking who made the rule that an older brother had to like his younger sibling. Shouldn't it depend on whether the younger sibling was likable? He told Liam that if he could do everything else well but couldn't bring himself to like his brother, then Peyton was the one who needed to reflect, not him. He told him not to compete for affection with lesser people, that they weren't even on the same level. This was a perspective Liam had never considered. He stared at Noah, his red-rimmed eyes wide and a little dazed. Noah, holding him, suddenly remembered something else. He narrowed his eyes. Wait, so is that why you won't call me brother? Liam's thought process was interrupted. He looked even more confused. Isn't it because you don't like it? Noah took a deep breath. Finally, he could address the issue that had been bothering him for weeks. Who doesn't like it? I love it. Your voice is so nice. I wish I could shrink you down and have you sit on my shoulder and call me that all day. How could I not like it? But that day, you told me not to. I was just being stupidly proud, Noah admitted. I can't believe you actually took me seriously. Liam blinked. So, you don't mind now? I don't mind, Noah said firmly. What good is pride anyway? Liam's eyes lit up. A shy smile played on his lips. He leaned in and, his eyes crinkling, called him brother in a soft, sweet voice. Noah felt a wave of pure joy. He wanted more. He gently squeezed Liam's earlobe and coaxed him to say it again. Liam laughed, wrapped his arms around Noah's neck, and rested his forehead against his. Brother. Late that night, long after Liam had fallen into a deep sleep, Noah was on the phone with his friend, Will. Will was teasing him about his grumpy, sleep-deprived tone, then asked why he'd been spotted at the hospital. Noah explained that Liam had a fever. He then paused, looking back toward the bedroom, and asked Will a question. He confessed that lately he'd been feeling a bit perverted. Will's response was a laugh. He told Noah it was perfectly normal. After years of being alone, finally being with someone would naturally lead to such feelings. He called Liam Noah's boyfriend, a term that made Noah's lips curl into an involuntary smile, which he quickly suppressed. He ended the call, dismissing Will's advice. The next morning, Noah woke up before Liam for once. He carefully slipped out of bed, trying not to wake him, and went to the living room to take a call. He didn't see Liam's eyelids flutter open behind him. Liam waited until he was sure Noah was gone before pulling the covers up, trying to hide the blush that was creeping up his neck. He had been awake the whole time. It was almost noon. Liam looked at the empty space beside him in the bed. His gaze went distant. He wondered if the intense care and attention of the previous day was something reserved only for the confused version of himself. He got out of bed and went to the bathroom. Seeing their two sets of toiletries arranged side by side, creating a false sense of intimacy, he gathered all of his things and moved them back to the guest room. He was in the study, logging into his email, when he got a text from his assistant. Noah had already handled most of his urgent work. With his workload lightened, Liam realized there was no compelling reason to go into the office every day. He felt a bit lost, unsure of what to do with the sudden free time. The house was too quiet. He turned on the TV, then went to the coffee table where Noah had arranged snacks for him in neat little containers. He opened a bag of chips, the same pink bag from the supermarket, but the taste seemed bland now. He ate the whole bag. He wanted to try a jelly cup but couldn't find a spoon. Just then, his phone rang. It was Noah. Liam answered, his voice flat. Noah asked if he had eaten, if he was still at home. Liam gave one-word answers. Noah then chuckled softly and explained that he had forgotten a file at home and was on his way back to get it. He asked if Liam wanted him to pick anything up for him on the way. Liam's brow furrowed. He wanted to say he wasn't a child who needed to be brought treats, but what came out of his mouth was, "I can bring it to you." The line went silent for a long moment. Noah finally asked, uncertainly, if he was serious. Liam stood up and asked where the file was. After giving him the location, Noah asked again, sounding pleasantly surprised, if Liam was really willing to bring it to him. Liam, committed now, said he was heading out anyway. Noah assumed he was going to the office. Liam calmly explained that the jelly he had bought yesterday didn't come with a spoon, so he was going to the supermarket to get one. He immediately realized his mistake. He wasn't supposed to remember going to the supermarket with Noah. As expected, Noah was quiet on the other end of the line. Liam quickly backpedaled, preempting any suspicion. He pointed out that there was a large, obvious supermarket right across from their building. Where else would he have bought them? The snacks weren't there before yesterday, so they must have been bought then. He presented his logic flawlessly, leaving Noah no room to argue. After a few seconds of silence, Noah spoke, his voice laced with amusement. He said he was just going to say that there were small spoons for the jelly cups in the kitchen drawer. Now that the trip wasn't necessary, he asked if Liam would still bring him the file. Liam, taking a deep breath, walked into the study and asked again where the file was. Noah's voice was bright as he told him it was in the top left drawer and that his office was on the top floor. He offered to come down to meet him. Liam found the file and said it wasn't necessary, that he would come up himself. At the office, the receptionists recognized him and, having been alerted by Noah, escorted him to the private elevator. On his way up, he overheard two employees gossiping. They were talking about Noah, about a rumor that he had brought a new lover home, someone he was doting on even during video conferences. Liam's ears perked up. The employees wondered how this new person fit in with Noah's supposed boyfriend, the one everyone was talking about. Liam froze. Noah was in a relationship? With whom? Why didn't he know? If he was already with someone, why was he playing this part for Liam? Why did he ask him to move in? A hot surge of anger and a confusing wave of bitterness rose in him. He decided he would deliver the file and then go straight home to pack his things. But then the employees continued. One of them reasoned that the person couldn't be some fling, because at that time of day, Mr. Payne would have been at his own office. The anger deflated as quickly as it had appeared. The mention of his own name, Mr. Payne, sent his thoughts reeling. The person they were talking about was him. The man's voice trailed off as he looked up and saw the reflection of Liam's cold, silent stare in the polished elevator walls. The two employees went rigid, stammering apologies as the elevator doors opened. Liam calmly told them it was their floor. He went to Noah's office, dropped off the file, and turned to leave. Noah, surprised by his abruptness, asked if he wouldn't even stay for a drink of water. Liam said he wasn't thirsty. Noah sighed and walked him to the elevator, sending him off in a taxi with instructions to buy whatever he wanted for dinner. Liam didn't know how to shop for groceries. He couldn't distinguish between similar-looking vegetables. He ended up buying a random assortment of things, relying on vague intuition. At checkout, he remembered to ask for a plastic spoon for his jelly. That evening, Noah came home to a kitchen floor flooded from an overflowing bowl of rehydrating wood ear mushrooms and a bag of groceries that made no sense together. He couldn't help but laugh. Liam frowned, explaining that he had only soaked enough for 2 people and that their expansion was beyond his control. Noah gently corrected his shopping mistakes, pointing out that the small, fiery peppers he'd bought were for seasoning. Not a main dish, and that certain fish were better for soup than for the sweet and sour dish Liam liked. Liam listened intently, like a student taking notes. He looked so young and earnest that Noah's heart softened. He asked if Liam really wanted to learn to cook. After a moment of thought, Liam nodded. Noah offered to teach him whenever he wanted. But Liam's expression suddenly went blank. He picked up his bag and walked away. Confused, Noah followed him, asking what was wrong. On their way out of the supermarket later that evening, after a successful second shopping trip, they ran into the same cashier from the previous day. Liam held his breath, praying she wouldn't recognize them. But she did. "Oh, it's you," she said cheerfully, her eyes moving from Liam to Noah. "Shopping with your husband again?" Before Liam could formulate a response that wouldn't give him away, Noah smoothly took over. "Yes, what a coincidence. You live around here too?" He chatted amicably with the woman for a moment before bidding her farewell, then turned to face Liam's stunned expression. He quickly explained that the cashier had simply commented on their resemblance, and he had jokingly told her he was Liam's older brother. "Brother?" Liam repeated, his tone skeptical. "Yeah," Noah confirmed a bit too quickly. Back home, the atmosphere was comfortable. Noah cooked while Liam followed him around the kitchen like a shadow, his earlier desire to learn to cook seemingly gone. He watched Noah chop vegetables, a small, pensive look on his face. Finally, he admitted that he seemed to have forgotten how to cook. Noah, resisting the urge to say he probably never knew how in the first place, reassured him that there was plenty of time to learn. Liam looked down at a tomato he had been trying to peel, its surface now hopelessly mangled. He declared that he didn't want to learn anymore. He then asked, his voice quiet, if Noah would be willing to cook for him always. He promised to do the dishes. Noah paused. Seeing his hesitation, Liam looked disappointed. "It's okay," he said quickly. "Cooking all the time is tiring. It's normal if you don't want to." "Who said I don't want to?" Noah popped a slice of cucumber into Liam's mouth. "Of course I'll cook for you. And you don't need to worry about the dishes, that's what the dishwasher is for." He paused, then added more to himself, "I'm willing to cook for you forever. The question is whether you'll still be willing to eat it." His tone was light, but there was an undercurrent of something else, something Liam couldn't quite decipher. Later that evening, Noah had to take a work call. He told Liam to go to bed first. As Liam walked toward the bedroom, he paused and turned back. Noah was still standing there, watching him. On impulse, Liam walked back and hugged him tightly. He whispered into Noah's chest, asking him to promise that if he ever did anything to make Noah unhappy, Noah would tell him. He would apologize and he would make it better. He started to pull away, but a hand on his back pressed him close again. The embrace was tighter this time, more desperate. He felt Noah's head rest on his shoulder, felt him take a deep, steadying breath. The hug didn't last long. When Noah released him, his expression was back to its usual easygoing calm. He gently touched Liam's cheek and told him not to worry about such things. He sent him off to bed, saying he would be there as soon as he was finished with his work. Liam went back to his room, but the faint, unsettling feeling from earlier lingered. He fell asleep and, sometime in the dead of night, felt the bed dip and a warm body slide in next to him. An arm snaked around his waist, pulling him into a familiar embrace. He slept soundly, so soundly that he didn't notice when the embrace disappeared. When he woke up, the sun was bright and the space beside him was cold. He sat up, listening to the silence of the apartment. He curled his fingers into the empty sheets, his expression unreadable. So he thought spending the whole day at home was something reserved only for the other Liam.